judge it? How do you judge when a fighter's had his best performance? Is it the struggle, the long?
Yeah, I think it's two things. I don't look back at that fight at all. I look at his opponent, what his opponent's capabilities are, what you think a game plan should be for a fighter like him, and he did the exact opposite of what you should do. The other thing is John proved tonight that he has a really, really good chin. And he stood right in the pocket and traded with him. I mean, there was a time where they stood on the fence and just lit each other up. He went toe-to-toe with him. I thought he looked great tonight. He did things tonight that you never see. Tonight was a crazy night. I mean, you saw people tapping with their feet. You saw guys go to sleep. You saw amazing flying knees. It was a crazy night.
Does that concern you when you see a guy taking a lot of punishment? Do you ever think to yourself, like, this isn't going to last for long, eventually this is going to wear out? Like, he's not going to be able to take that punishment when the fighter trades on his ability to take punishment? Does that concern you?
You're in the fight business, it's going to happen sometimes. I mean, Floyd's proven you can go a whole career, you know, and if your defense is that great and you're that talented, you can avoid a lot of punishment. But, you know, in this sport, it's a lot tougher. You can kick, you can knee, you can punch, elbow, I mean, all the things that you can do. All the things, that's the other thing, all the things that you have to try to defend against a John Jones. It's tough to do. How do you train for that? How do you train to stop those spinning elbows? How do you train to those kicks to the leg and the things that he does? It's very, very hard to train for. Very hard to get somebody to try to mimic, and the reach and the talent and the speed and the, you know, he's a very unique individual and a great athlete. And, you know, I think a lot of people, and me included, questioned how he would bounce back from that, you know, the first time he's ever got his ass whooped. He won that fight, but he got his ass whooped. And he came back the exact opposite of what I thought he would be doing. Why not play it safe? Double leg Glover, get him down, get that top position, and you know what he can do with his elbows on the ground. Didn't do it at all.
He's obviously, John has struggled to resonate with the fans sometimes. They kind of hate on him, that sort of thing. But a fight like that, do you think that's one where it can kind of overcome whatever they think about his personality?
I don't know how you don't like him after the Gustafsson fight. I told you guys about that flashback show we did. I watched that show. I got goosebumps about 5 times watching that show, and I already knew what happened. You know, people are fucking weird. What are you gonna do? You know what I mean? If I was him, I wouldn't give 2 shits if somebody booed me or whatever. I could care less about that stuff.
Yeah. Is there a time frame that makes sense for the rematch? I mean, sometimes you guys kind of have ideas in mind, this location, this date. So does anything make sense for you guys?
We got to make sure he's 100% healthy and he's good, and then, you know, we'll time this thing out and we'll plan it.
Where does this leave Glover? I mean, he
leaves
lost.
Glover busted up and out for a while. I mean, with the shots and the much respect for the chin and the fight that he fought tonight, but he's gonna need some time off after this fight. And, you know, he went the distance with John, went undefeated for years, so, you know, he'll get one of the top guys.
But like knowing Glover and knowing what his ceiling is, it seemed like he performed up to his ceiling. It's just that Jones is on a different level.
I agree.
He did lose, but did you look at Glover and say, he fought about best as he could?
Yeah, no doubt about it. You know, there's times in the fight where you're like, he should be pressing right now. He should be moving forward. But you're not the one in there getting your ass whooped by John Jones. You know what I mean? It's easy to sit on the outside and say he should be doing this, he should be doing that. You don't even know, you know, how bad was his shoulder dislocated, how bad was he hurt. You know, he needs some time off. But maybe he comes back and fights a kid like this, or, you know, whether he wants to believe it or not, or think it or not, just beat the number 4 guy in the world. You know? And that division is nasty. He's going to end up fighting somebody tough.
So why do you think he was hesitant?
Because I think he's happy to be back, and, you know, these guys tell me, they got to be telling you guys the same shit they tell me. When these guys come back to the UFC, they're like, just such another level. It's such a, that's why you will see guys fight out of their weight class, and they won't fight out of their weight class here. That's why, you know, you had this kid making 170 the whole time he was here, which probably wasn't the right thing to do, but he did. And now he looks great at that weight. He looks like that's the right size for him. He made weight. So we'll go from here and see what's next for him.
Can you compare your relationship with John to your relationship with Anderson Silva? You've said in the past that Anderson Silva is like dealing with an artist. Is it a similar relationship? Different?
No, I think the difference with John was a kid. He was dealing with a kid. It reminded me a lot of dealing with Robbie Lawler back in the day. You know what I mean? And he's changing. He's becoming a different person now. He's much easier to deal with. And Robbie, look at Robbie Lawler. He's a completely different person.
And considering the rivalry, it's clear that he's not a huge fan of Gustafsson and how passionate the fan base is for both guys. Do you think that pay-per-view could do over $1 million?
It's a big one, man. Me and Lorenzo were talking about it tonight. It's a big one. Yeah.
Do you think it could be the best one of the year, given what's at stake?
I do.
On the docket?
I do. Has the potential to be huge, and the gate on this thing is going to be huge too, depending on where we do it. It's a big fight. It is a big, massive fight.
Could it be bigger than a typical arena fight?
If we do it in Europe,
Yeah.
I mean, this thing could do 50, 60,000 seats or more, right?
Do you want to do a stadium show?
Yeah, we would. If we go to Europe and do it, we will. Yeah.
What about the pay-per-view time difference and all that?
We would do it at the same time. At that time back there, it's light 24 hours a day, or it's dark for an hour or something like that. So it would go at 4 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, you do it at 4 o'clock in the morning.
It would be in Sweden.
Huh?
Do you think John would agree to that?
Yeah, John's going to agree to whatever fight we make. And then, what's John going to agree to? Where's he going to want to fight? In Seattle or,
Well, he doesn't want to go in enemy territory as champion.
Sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
To be clear,
We don't ever have people say, this is where I'm going to fight my fight. Never happen. Won't happen. We got to take the fight wherever the fight is going to do the best. So it would be on the same time here, or even if we took the fight to Vegas, it would be a very big gate.
Is that being seriously considered, the Europe idea?
Yeah, of course.
And Sweden specifically, obviously,
Yeah.
right? Not just Europe, but Sweden.
Yep.
The new stadium they have, basically.
Yep.
You said the other day you were interested to see how Anthony handled 205 in the UFC. Were you surprised by his performance?
Yeah. I thought he was going to gas out in the second or third round. I thought the combination of nerves and size and muscle, and I thought Davis would shoot more. He'd have to defend a ton of takedowns. But I was wrong, man. He looked good tonight. He looked like a veteran. He picked his punches, took his time, hurt him when he had him up against the fence. He looked great tonight. He looked really good.
Do you think that Phil trying to become a trash talker negatively affected his focus?
No, I don't think Phil. Anytime you talk to Phil, outside of press conference and stuff, he's actually a really funny guy. He's a funny guy, and he does. He talks like that normally. I can't figure the whole Phil thing out.
On a different note, you mentioned Vitor and solving issues in Nevada. I mean, is there more than just the
No.
TRT stuff?
Yeah, TRT stuff with the commission. He's got to solve his problems with the Nevada State Athletic Commission, and when he does that, we can figure it out.
He said this week that he wants to fight in July against Wadman. He wants to get put back into that fight. Did he say that this week?
You better get to work then.
Yeah, he said he passed all of his tests that were required by the commission that he wanted.
Oh, he
He
did?
wants to be swapped back in.
It's a test that he took himself, not that they submitted.
Right.
Tested.
He's got a lot of work to do. And that shit just doesn't happen like that. You got to get on the agenda. He's got a lot of work to do. He's fooling himself if that's what he really thinks, is that, he took a couple home tests and he's ready to roll. Or whatever he did. He's always fun, man. He's hilarious.
Yesterday at the weigh-ins, John's brothers had some tape on their shirts. Tonight they were wearing the same shirts. It was a Nike logo. Is Nike not approved anymore?
I honestly don't know the answer to that. Did John have Nike on tonight?
No.
No?
It
Then they
was a
must
Nike
not.
shirt. It was a Nike made shirt, but with no Nike logo on it.
Got it. Then it must be a no. Yep.
Back on Vitor real quick. When he does come back, will he be going through Nevada for you guys, or could it be somewhere else?
Say that again?
To apply for a license when Vitor does come back, Will he be doing it in Nevada?
Fighting?
Or
He could-
applying for a license? Or will it be?
Yeah. Yeah, no, he'll apply in Nevada. And then he can fight anywhere.
Dan, not to belabor the point, but about Nike, like on the one hand, I'm assuming it's because they didn't pay the sponsor tax. I'm
Right.
assuming, right? But what about the idea that like if it's Nike, it benefits the UFC brand to have their athletes with Nike gear on? Like this is a multi-billion-dollar international company. Why not just let the guy wear it? What would you say to that?
I would say no other sports league on earth would do that. And neither do we.
And can you explain the rationale behind re-signing Arlovski?
I like him. I like Arlovski. He's on a win streak, and you know, the window is closing for Andre Arlovski, and you know they really wanted to fight. He's always been an honorable guy, and so has his manager. And I said yes.
So they approached you.
Yeah, they said they wanted to come back.
Was he on the radar at all?
Nope.
Have you seen any of his recent fights?
Nope. I like Andre. I brought him back. He'll fight Brendan Schaub, and we'll see what happens.
Does seeing Anthony Johnson perform today make you feel better about Arlovski, being that they're coming from the same circuit?
That Anthony Johnson is the one thing that I didn't like about about bringing Arlovski back. So that makes me feel better tonight. That you know, Andre's a heavyweight. He lost to a guy that fought in our show at 170. You know what I mean? So that's what really bothered me about bringing Andre back.
You talked to Nate Diaz at all this weekend?
I didn't know. I think Joe Silva did, and Nate said he's ready to fight. So told Joe to call him.
What did you think of Jessamine Duke?
Huh?
Jessamine Duke.
Jessamine Duke? She didn't do enough to win. You know, she didn't do enough to win. She didn't let her hands go the way she should have, and you know.
She thought she won the fight.
Yeah.
In post-fight comments, did that surprise you at all?
Yeah. Because I thought she didn't win the fight, and I love Jessamine. I have a great relationship with Jessamine, but I didn't think she won the fight.
It's 2 weeks in a row where the lone women's fight hasn't exactly been a great fight. Does that
Right.
concern you at all? I mean, with what you said in the past, or do you feel like?
Be like when men's fights aren't good, me saying, "Oh man, what am I doing with these men?"
And I heard you
Not
say,
every fight's going to be great.
I heard you say to Gomi, see you in Japan. Is that a lock that he would be on that card in September?
Yeah. Makes a lot of sense to have Gomi on the card.
Right. Because he has said that he'd like to fight more in the States at this point in his career.
Cool, and I'm cool with that too. But we're going to need him in Japan.
He said he wanted to do your fight.
He said what?
He said he wanted to do your fight.
Yeah, good. We're on the same page then.
Anything further on the Gina Carano talks?
No,
Anything?
nothing yet. I haven't been home for more than like 24 hours in like 3 weeks. So I'm going home tonight. I'll be in the office Monday, see what I can do there, and then I'm going to Mexico on Tuesday. I'll be down there for a couple days, and then I'll be in New Mexico City, and then I'm coming home again. So hopefully I can get some stuff done this week.
Business or pleasure?
Press
for Mexico?
conference.
Yeah.
I'll be down there.
Tough Latin America.
All kinds of shit going on down there. There's fucking crack-a-lacking down in Mexico.
UFC Cabo?
I wish. Yeah. That's where I want to open an office. I want to go run that office.
This time this weekend that I had any kind of conversation with Nate Diaz?
Yeah, I just said Joe talked to him. He said he wants to fight and told Joe to call him.
He said he wants to fight.
Yeah.
How about Nick?
No Nick. No Nick. Nick's got a lot of money, man. I think Nick's just gonna kick back until he has to fight.
Do you have a date for that Mexico show?
The Mexico what?
The Mexico show?
Probably.
I mean, that's
I'm
what
going
you're
there. I'm going down there. Yeah, I'll be down there this week.
Because they said fourth quarter. I guess Kane's camp said that he's not done with physical therapy yet, and he's got to be cleared before they can really fully commit. Do you think that? I mean, are they just going to slow play? I mean, do you think it's pretty much set? It's going to take place in the fourth quarter.
I don't know.
Doing 3 events in 10 days, of all the great fights you saw, all the performances you saw, is there one that really kind of stands out to you as something you really want to move forward with, you hang your hat on? Was it John Jones tonight?
Out of the 3 fights?
Out of the 3 events.
Yeah. It was all good. I mean, they were all great. All 3 of these fights were great. But yeah, Jones looked really good tonight. I mean, a lot of people look good tonight. The Orlando fight was great. I mean, I don't know. I mean, anybody that stands out, yeah, you'd have to look at Jones. Verdum wasn't a barn burner and wasn't, but I was actually shocked by how that fight went. I don't know what you guys thought, but I didn't see that fight going that way at all. So you got to be impressed with his. I do anyway. I have to be impressed with his performance because I didn't see it coming. I thought that was going to be a much tougher fight for Verdum than it was. Obviously, Cowboy Cerrone looked awesome in that fight. I mean, he looked unbelievable.
Did he say anything today about when he wants to go back?
I'm not listening to him. I listen to nothing he says, okay? I respect what he says, but he got hurt in that fight. He was rocked, and he was in trouble. And he pulled through and he won the fight in spectacular fashion. He looked amazing. He needs some time off. He needs to rest. The last thing I want that kid doing is sparring or getting hit or anything, because he's going to do enough damage in all the other shit he does. Bull riding or fucking cartwheeling or whatever the hell he's doing when he's not fighting. But it would be hard to say that Cerrone wasn't, the rock star off that Orlando card, because that was unbelievable. Not only to come back from what was happening to him, but to hit Barboza with a jab and then snatch his back up the way that he did and choke him out. It was pretty awesome. And then in like Quebec seems like 3 months ago to me, but the Quebec fight, I thought the Ultimate Fighter kids looked good. And, again, not a barn burner, but the way that Kennedy dominated Bisping is impressive. I hope I answered your question. I tried the best I could.
On a night like tonight, where there's so many standout performances, what do you guys use to decide the performance bonuses?
Me and Joe get together and we say, "What did you think of this one? I loved it. What did you think of that one? Yeah, I don't disagree. I don't agree with this one. I disagree with that one." And then, we come to what do you guys think? I had to go with Beal, one of the sickest flying knees ever, right? Everything about that thing was perfect. The overhand right by
Castillo.
Castillo was a great punch. You see those all the time, though. You don't see flying knees. Benavidez, was fucking getting his ass whooped and then pulls off that submission. The kid's tapping with his feet, that's pretty hard not to go with. Rockhold was really good. Rockhold was really good too. But again, do you think it was better than those two?
Not a choice I wanted to make.
Huh?
Not a choice I would have wanted to make.
Yeah, it was tough. And it's never, listen, I make a lot of choices that aren't fun choices to make, but you got to do it. And then I thought the Gomi fight was the fight of the night. Anybody else like anything different for fight of the night?
Main event.
Main event was good. It could have been. Yep.
Dana, with that, a couple of you guys at the gate tonight, I know there are a lot of fans wondering how that kind of affects the timetable for possible return. What would you say?
It's going to affect it very positively. Yeah. Orlando too. So we'll be back. I don't know how soon, but we'll be back. I mean, look what we did in Seattle. We did a great number in Seattle the first time we went there. It seemed like we were back there every 2 weeks after that. So we'll see. But this is a great city. It's been fun.
Dana, if you take Jones Gustafsson and create it, what do you think impact that would have on pay-per-view sales? Do you think it changes much?
Did you just get here?
Maybe.
We do it at 4 in the morning.
No, but how would it affect pay-per-view sales in America? Do you think it would have an impact?
By physically not being on the ground here?
Yeah.
I don't know. And that's not a bad question. It's something that we need to look at and figure out. We'll run. We have analysts who run. We'll figure it out. Then you got to look at how does the gate make up for the loss that we might get here? I mean, what do you lose? You lose 10%. You lose 5%. I don't know. It's stuff we got to look at.
So there's a new stadium in Sweden.
Yeah.
Is that an outdoor or an indoor or what?
It's an outdoor, right? But there's a big indoor one there too. So we'll see. We good? All right.